Hello. Dear Lord, thanks for helping us gather here today so we can pray in your name. Praying for my students that they're going to have a nice long weekend, and praying that we'll all get some rest and feel refreshed again. Hoping that we would have some nice weather so that we can enjoy it, maybe go out and do something. Praying for the air pollution here to stop. Praying that you can help us and help the government and everyone find out what can be done about all this, because so many people are suffering, kids and babies and And it seems like every year we're going in circles about this. So praying that you can give us wisdom and whatever help we need to be able to deal with this in whatever way is possible. In Jesus' name, Amen.
Kao novi urednik želim da vam se predstavim i izrazim nadu za dobru saradnju u cilju oblikovanja zvučnog časopisa Gradske organizacije slepih Beograda, naša riznica, prema željama i potrebama svih nas. Ja sam Slobodan Perečić, diplomirani etnolog i antropolog Filozofskog fakulteta Univerziteta u Beogradu. Član sam Gradske organizacije slepih Beograda, licencirani instruktor informatičke obuke i samostalno sam krećen uz pomoć belog štapa. Kao glavni zadatak sebi sam postavio da časopis učinim zanimljivim u toku sa dešavanjima u Gradskoj organizaciji slepih Beograda, kao i novitetima u različitim segmentima. Predstavljam vam koncepciju časopisa koji je prihvatio upravo odbor Gradske organizacije slepih Beograda u postupku imenovanja novog urednika zvučnog časopisa Naša riznica. Koncepcija uređivanja časopisa Naša riznica. Stavove poruke. Prvo, sadržaj časopisa.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Great rising, everyone. Whose beautiful voice is that and who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Alison here from the Cayman Islands.
Oh my God, Allison, what is going on? Like, rumor was spreaded that like Mona went and like saw you, and there was like notes of the formula on your kitchen table. So we're like
exactly.
Exactly. Allison, we are international here at Unblinded. So thank you.
We certainly are.
So what is present for you? Like, what's going on? It is, I don't even know what day it is. What is it? Fun Friday?
It's Fun Friday. So
Friday.
I'm really excited for this call because I've actually got a meeting where I'm trying to basically transition. I'm going to have like literally a 20-minute call during which I'm hoping to get somebody from from hello to yes. And,
Yes.
And I just like so grateful that there's the opportunity just immediately before that to dial in and get some of your energy.
Well, Allison, thank you. And like my request to you is that you please share with us like first thing Monday morning, like how that went.
Okay, I certainly will.
All right. Can you like can I hear like a verbal I promise?
I promise on with the proviso that I'm taking my dog to Miami for treatment. So if he's having anything done on Monday morning at 8:30, that's the only thing that will stop me.
Okay, ready? Asterisk. Monday or the next time you're on the call. That way
yes.
you can be in integrity. Is that fair?
Right. Yes. That's the only thing that would stop me if I have to be there. But I promise, and I'm excited to share because I think it's a really interesting opportunity for me to really just get into the energy of this movement and sort of realize it. I think, it's about realizing it in yourself for everyone. So I'm super grateful to be on the call. I'm super grateful that it's here.
And then everyone, like, let's take a second, like, to pause and let this all land. Allison, you just gave the group and whoever's here, and more people are going to jump on, but this is an opportunity for us to be leaders in this group. This right here, what just happened, is like one of the most greatest purposes of these morning huddles. It is to share wins, one, and number two is to be accountable and to be excited to be held accountable. Keith Cunningham, you can't, like, what you measure happens. You can't grow if you don't measure. And like, that's exactly what we're doing right here. Like, Allison, you are on the call to get this energy, be in the formula, use the formula. That is amazing. If we didn't like hold each other accountable, it would be a suboptimal outcome. So Allison, thank you for being a leader and being brave enough. And like, I'm serious, this could be like, oh, this is so simple. Like, what's the big deal? It's like only a huge deal because like, this is what it looks like. This is what it's for. So Allison, thank you. Would anyone else like to share a win, a thought, or something that they're going to do that they like the group to hold them accountable to? Who would like to share on Fun Friday? Anyone else?
Fernando, this is your boy B Fox. Good morning.
My God, Mr. Fox, I love your voice, brother.
Hey,
share with me.
What the Fox?
Hey, good morning,
Napalm. Go ahead, Ben. Tell me what's on your mind, brother. What would you like to share?
I just want to say that your friends in the blindness and visually impaired community are loving the Unblinded movement. And I got to say, personally, for me, just real quick,
yeah,
the reason I love it is because in the blindness world, sometimes it's really wonderful to have a live connection with people, and I really enjoy the ability to listen in, and if I really want to, I can share, and that's an amazing feeling. And wherever I'm at in the world, I've got my friends in line. So that being said, we've invited a lot of blind and visually impaired folks to the call.
Yes.
Facebook group specifically for the visually impaired and blind group inside the Unblinded group. And that's specifically for us because we're talking about this wonderful VIP, and that's visually impaired people and blind folks having
I love that.
Just sent you some informative emails, my friend, period.
Hold on 1 second, Mike. We're having a giant party second night after Saturday, right? At January 11, 10, 11, and 12. On January 11th, we're having 100 blind people at a VIP party. Can you imagine that, Fernando? And will you pop in and say hello to everybody?
Brother, like, I cannot wait. You are such a blessing, dude. the VIP, visually impaired person, the things you do, the creativity you bring, it is so exciting and motivating. And I am so proud that you've taken on this challenge from Sean and Unblinded, and you're committed to 100. You are literally the spark, the flint, the catalyst, the person that is like helping blind see what they don't see, and you're like making it happen. So to anyone and everyone that Ben brings to
I
this
connected
group,
with a bunch of people the past 2 days, and I think it's going to kick it up a notch.
Mike
Yeah.
Moran, you are a just force of nature in the blindness community, sir, and I appreciate everything you've done for me since I've met you. And sir, because of you, I've really been focused on like the way I speak and carry myself, and I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, Ben.
Also, thank you for standing up and just being a force in our blindness community. Thank you for everything you do, sir.
All right, my friend.
Quick check-in. It is 8:31. Mr. Callaghan, Tiffany, are you here with us?
Fernando, he'll be on in 1 minute.
All right, thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate you always doing what you do. And so, like, let's continue. Like, let's get one more share. One
All
more.
right, Fernando.
Yes.
It's Tiffany. It's the other Tiffany.
Go ahead, Tiffany.
What the fuck?
Tiffany Armstrong, what's happening, girl?
Hey, Tiffany.
What's
And
up?
actually,
I
really
heard my
quick,
source. I'm like,
there's
I
a
have
ton
to
of
follow my
feedback.
source. What's
There's a
up?
ton of feedback. So if it's not Tiffany, can you please mute yourself? Please mute yourself.
I was gonna come get you. I was so tired.
Go ahead, Tiffany Armstrong.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Ben, what's up? You're amazing. And of course, thank you so much for supporting me and Michael through this journey. And we'll definitely be there on and
that's like a lacrosse.
last night I had a couple of friends over for martial arts practice.
Yeah.
I'm finally feeling
Hey guys,
better.
I want to hear Dana. Listen, everybody, real quick. And Tiffany, maybe can we mute everybody?
Yeah, Tiffany,
Except, I think
please
it's
mute
Dana
everyone.
speaking. Yeah, Tiffany, let's go.
Work to wake up with the sun.
Guys, I think some people think you're muted and you're not. There's some people who think you're muted and you're not. Tiffany, guys.
Hear you now.
What? Just hang
Hey,
hang
Tiffany.
tight, guys.
Kirk. Hey, Sean. Kirk.
Hey, yeah, let's keep Kirk unmuted as well, Tiffany.
Okay, Kirk, I have to mute everyone all at once, so just hit *6, and then you should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. Awesome. And who was speaking? Was that Dana a moment ago?
It was Tiffany Armstrong, Mr. Callaghan. Tiffany Armstrong was in the process of finishing, and then you jumped in and Kirk Adams jumped in.
Awesome. All right. So I want to jump in and say good morning to everyone. Sorry for getting that cut off there and for the noise. Tiffany, we're going to start each day with everybody muted though. Okay, Tiffany?
Yes.
Yep, got it.
All right, and then people can unmute themselves. Awesome. Good morning to all. Happy, fun Friday. My voice is probably sounding a little raspy, as it has been a lot of beautiful communicating with incredible human beings over the last few days. And I am physically back in the great state of New Jersey, as Bruce Springsteen would say. After spending the day in Florida, I am back in Palm Beach later today and looking forward to continuing with Date with Destiny. But this morning, this morning, I have the privilege and honor of welcoming somebody who is a friend, is a co-creator, and somebody who's leading and making incredible things happen in the world. And I want to drop in and talk about the formula and bring some things to life. And that is Mr. Kirk Adams, who is the leader of the American Foundation for the Blind, the AFB. And what Kirk is up to in the world is helping change the rate of unemployment for blind people. He's helping create a world where every blind child has equal access to education, and I'll dare say equal access to feeling included, feeling proud, feeling loved, feeling strong. We have conversations about changing what blindness means. And when I speak, I am on the board of trustees of the AFB. I'm also a little crazy, a little disruptive. So I'll be clear that I am not speaking when I discuss issues of blindness and visual impairment and almost blindness. I'm not speaking, unless I say it expressly, I'm not speaking on behalf of the AFB, and Kirk didn't ask me to say that. But, you know, I understand the lines of ecosystem merging and speaking or voice, so I'm clear about that. But with that said, with that said, Mr. Kirk Adams, ladies and gentlemen. And Kirk, what is present for you as you hit the Unblinded Huddle this beautiful morning? What's up? How are you? And what's present?
What's present is I'm so glad to be back with the huddle. It's been several weeks. I was on one of the first huddles, and I think there were 12 people or 14 people, and I'm in the Unblinded Movement Facebook group, and I'm seeing hundreds and hundreds of people. And this has not taken many days to grow from a dozen folks to 1,400 folks. So the way that Sean has demonstrated to me that ecosystems can be merged and hopes, dreams, intentions, intent can be aligned and focused is really coming home to me as I check the group and I see what people are up to, and I look at videos of people expressing their true selves, and just really thinking about freedom and potential, and always in the back of my mind is a conversation that I have often with parents of a young blind child, because I was one. I was born sighted. My retinas detached when I was 5. My parents were 26 years old. They'd never met a blind person before, and all of a sudden they had a blind kid, and they wondered what my life would be like. And they found out pretty quickly that my life was gonna be tough. And I want to be able to sit across the table from parents of young blind kids and tell them, your son, your daughter, they can do whatever they want to do. They can be who they want to be. They can pursue their dreams. And at this point in time, that's not a conversation I can truly have. But we really need to make some changes. We need to create a world of no limits for people who are blind. And I'm just grateful that my the universe crossed my path with Sean, and we're getting it done. So I'm just grateful to be here.
Yeah, well, Kirk, thank you. And you know, for me, there is an incredible synergy, because when we say that the Unblinded movement is about helping people see what they don't see, and then when we share, you know, we're all just blind and learning to see. Like at the end of the videos, we're all just blind, learning to see. Malcolm Gladwell's work for you, for us. So every conversation we're having is about you. Like, it's not just about you, right? But every conversation we're having is about you, every one of us, you, like, specifically. And every conversation that we're having with everyone is about the concepts that are going to help us resonate, help make things happen, support co-creation, expansion. And one of the beautiful things to drop into for those that are new or have been here every day is the notion that nothing is one thing. So I'm talking to Kirk Adams, like, just get this each time you speak. So we're speaking to Kirk in no particular order for all of the following reasons. 1, to support the AFB. 2, to have everybody here see the breadth and extent of people we're merging ecosystems with. 3, to see the potential impact of what we're doing when we merge ecosystems. 4, to teach concepts that are inside the formula. So, like, what's going right with the world of blindness? What's not? Where does it show up in the formula, right, for achieving the missions that the AFB has? 5, we're talking now specifically inside the formula of specific distinctions, like generally the formula applies, like, right? And then specific distinctions in the formula. 6, we're creating mutual energy. 7, we're going to touch on things and be inspired by Kirk's story. He's been without sight, blind since he's a child, and the amount of education, things he's overcome are remarkable, and more. Every single thing that you're doing is remarkable, right? But it has all of these potential outcomes. So now let's before we get there, let's drop in. If I were to call up and watch the power of the ecosystem merging. So if I were to call up, let's say, I don't know, Bruce Springsteen, I brought up his name earlier. And I would say, talk to his people and say, hey, I'd love Bruce to be like on the Unblinded Huddle, or I'd love Bruce to be on an Unblinded podcast or webinar. And I'm like, yeah, I have this great personal development content. I have this incredible formula, and it's going to be wonderful for people. The reaction from Bruce Springsteen's team would probably be like, politely, are you kidding? Right? And hang up. If, however, the conversation then includes, and by the way, Sean is blind, and by the way, he is working with the AFB on redefining the meaning of blindness, and it'll be incredibly impactful if you participate. The likelihood of Bruce Springsteen's people staying on the telephone increases by probably 1,000 times. Okay, you go, well, wow, like, is that why you're doing this at the AFB? No, of course not. But it's also, it's also a tremendous benefit. And by the way, it helps the AFB, because if with my skill sets, I'm able to introduce other people that are influencers at all levels to the concepts, the meaning, the importance, and make emotional and energetic transportation happen, like make hello to yes happen for participation, it makes something extraordinary happen for the AFB. Does that make sense, Kirk, what I'm sharing? And what are your thoughts on what's present for you on two questions?
Right.
One, the multiple nature of things, like the multiple spins, the multiple value on the minute. Like there's 7 things happening in this moment, 10 things happening in this moment, not just one, for everyone, right? And second, the idea of our identity expanding, ecosystems expanding, and mutual benefit occurring through ecosystem merger. What's, your thoughts, reactions? I say those things, you say.
I say, if you haven't listened to the 1975 live recording of Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Springsteen and the E Street Band yet this year, you owe it to yourself. I listened to it last night. What I think about, and I met Sean in January, so we're really getting to know one another over the course of less than a year, and gaining appreciation of one another. But Sean's a blind person who's come to blindness later in life. I'm a blind person, came to blindness earlier in life. I know there's lots of blind folks on this call right now, and I'm going to be joining you often, and I'm looking forward to hearing lots of voices. But everyone has a set of circumstances, and everyone can learn, should learn, does learn from those circumstances. So it's a way to view things. So everyone has a set of perspectives, a set of experiences that they can bring to the community, bring around the campfire, can share. So the way I've lived my life as a blind person since age 5, I've learned some things. I've learned how to be creative. I've learned how to be a problem solver. I've learned how to work within limitations and still be creative and accomplished. And I think of an artist. They have a canvas, and they have paints, and they have a brush, and they make beautiful art. Or a musician, they have a scale, they have a set of instruments. They make amazing transformational music. And it's each of us, we all have a set of tools. We all have a set of parameters that we work within. And what can we do with that? How can we learn within that? What can we share? And of course, my experience as a blind person, that's my viewpoint. That's how I live. That's where I come from. So that's that's the canvas that I've had to work with. And each person on this call has their own set of experiences and limitations and tools and resources, and everyone's making a life, creating a life. And we have all learned, and we can all share with one another and teach one another.
Yeah. And here's a common challenge now. So we'll get back to the ecosystem merging questions. I want to hit that really hard and get your reaction in a minute, Kirk, for everybody, because I think there's like discomfort and confusion around the space of the value of ecosystem expansion and merging. And I'm going to drop in on something that happened at Date with Destiny yesterday, which was amazing to me. And like, I'm not pretending like it didn't happen, because I just won't do that. And I'll come back in a second. So for everyone, if you're a coach, if you're a financial person, a life insurance person, you're a doctor, you are a lawyer, you are somebody that does an accountant, any profession, and I'm enjoying this, and this is a quick access for you. It's like you say lawyer, they say, you say coach, they say, you say blind, they say, you say marketing consultant, they say, right? Like, that's how it is. And there's a reflexive reaction, and typically in our culture and society, it's a negative one. So what we're co-creating together is the access, the learning, that we have to disrupt that in our communication. So it's like, I say blind, right? They say, you say. Like, I say blind, you say. Or I say blind, they say, because this call might be a little bit more positive, in its construct, but there's still reflexive reactions of what the public says. And so one of the great challenges for the AFB to change the unemployment rate for blind people is that there's a reflexive reaction. Like, I say woman, you say. Let's be real. I say man, you say. I say African American, you say. I say Christian, you say. I say Muslim, you say. I say Jew, you say. Right? Like, there's reflexive reactions that we have. And we can like lie and pretend we don't, but that is not going to help you merge ecosystems and solve challenges. And we live in a world where we're like pretending a lot of times, and we're encouraged to pretend in huge ways. Like, two things happened in the last couple of days. I went up when I was flying down to Palm Beach, Kirk and everyone, and I walked to the counter, and we're getting ready to go, and in that moment, Mona was standing next to me, and the guy is like, "You got to move on, like move away." And the woman's like, "You got to move away," and I'm legally blind, like I need support. And she goes, "No, you're not." She literally said, "No, you're not." And the reason, and then we could go into what a jerk and blah, 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 like who cares in this moment? It's not the point. The point is, she thought I wasn't blind because I don't show up in her definition and the societal definition of blind. People do it all the time. Like, right. And there's no judgment about it. It's actually positive. It's actually positive, because what you're doing, if people are like, wow, like, you're not showing up as a coach, you're not showing up as a lawyer, you're different and unique. That's the idea. That's the very idea of disrupting the limiting beliefs that people have about you, your profession, and what you're doing. That's why we say it's step 3, unique identity. So I'm in the beginning of exploring that. So that happened on day 1. Then I flew back yesterday by myself. And when I flew back by myself yesterday, right, I'm at the counter, and it was a much lighter energy. But the woman said, where's the blind guy? Literally said those words, like, "Where's the blind guy?" As I'm standing in front of her. And I have now taken the saying, and forgive me for having fun, but when you have fun energy, this is why we talk about fun energy. Fun makes things sticky. Fun makes things disruptive, right? So I said, "Oh, is it because I'm cool, fun, and hot, and you don't think blind people are cool, fun, and hot?" And she started cracking up, right? I'm like, "Say it. You didn't think I was blind because I look confident and I'm good looking. Is that true? Like, I show up with a presence that's not like a blind presence." I said, "I'm just asking. Tell me I'm crazy." She kept laughing. I said, "Just answer." She's like, "Yes." I said, "Could you do me a favor?" I said, "It's amazing." I said, "There's nothing wrong with what just happened." I said, "We're just like redefining blindness in America. Like, go to the Unblinded movement." And, I mentioned the AFB. I said, like, I'm standing for redefining what blind people are in the world. I said, blind people are badass and super cool. And it's okay. And we actually have even more access to superpower, et cetera, et cetera. That's called a disruption, like a pattern interrupt. And it's available for you to do as you. So if somebody's like, if you're like, "Hey, I'm a lawyer," right? I wouldn't, first of all, I would never say that. Say I work as an attorney, you know, but I am something else. So in that moment, capture the disruption for you. Like as a coach, a marketing consultant, you're going to feel knowing this reaction to you, and in every moment disrupt it and take space for your uniqueness. And people remember you. Most people let other people put them in buckets. You don't belong in a bucket. Kirk doesn't belong in a bucket. Blind people don't belong in a bucket, but neither do coaches, lawyers, accountants, and certainly not you. And it's not like battle, like energy. It's fun energy. It's disruptive energy. And it might be a little bit more Zeus in a disruptive moment. I was a lot more Zeus at LaGuardia Airport leaving, right? Because there was like Zeus energy there. And I was like, it was not getting through. So I was like standing in disruption. But for you today, play with that. Play with when you see people put you in a category, in a bucket. Play with the disruption. Play with, wow, like I'm seeing, like, what do you think? I said that I do work in coaching. So I'm just curious, Mary, Joe, Bob, Sue, what do you think it is that I do? And make them begin to explain it. That's a beautiful access question to speaking into people's knowingness. Ask the question, wow, like I said I'm a litigator. I work as a litigator, you know, and as an attorney. What do you think that means that I do? Who do you think that means I am? And watch people struggle to answer because they're not going to want to be honest. And it's a beautiful space as a pattern interrupt at beginning of the conversation. So I want to land this in the next 4 minutes. Kirk, I say I benefit and I win. I win. The Unblinded movement wins because we're affiliated with the AFB. You say emotionally, how does that land for you? And I want authenticity because there's a lot here for everyone to learn about ecosystem merging and what it means and combining contribution and growth of your own ecosystem. There's a lot there. A lot of, I'm not saying for Kirk, but for people, there could be a lot of energetic and emotional charge. So I say that, you say, Kirk, authentically.
I say, thank God there's someone here to help. I mean, it's a struggle. We're all on our journeys. You know, everyone you meet is fighting a great battle of some kind. And the American Foundation for the Blind in particular, we're fighting an age-old battle against fear and stereotype and prejudice and trying to create this world of no limits. And we're out here fighting the good fight. And when someone like Sean Callaghy says, "I want to help you," it's a feeling of relief. Is my authentic feeling. Like, you know, I'm carrying this heavy load, and someone comes up and says, "Hey, can I help you carry that?" It's a feeling of relief and gratitude and lightness and happiness.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. But I'll tell you what else some people are going to say. People are going to say, oh, wait a minute, you win because you're doing something in contribution and charitable. Like, contribution shouldn't mean you win. People will say that and feel that for you, everybody on the line. And so I'm going to say 2 things right now. Whatever causes you want to contribute to and support, it's completely okay if you win also as a result. And since we have in the Unblinded movement this amazing connection with the AFB, you win when you share and talk about issues of blindness and use the access point of like, hey, we're all just blind and learning to see. And you begin to like reshape blindness. You open up people's listening to you when you begin to talk about a cause and a charitable dynamic, like in a loving, not in a like, oh my God, employers have to see. Like, yeah, they do. But like, we all have to like grow and open our listening or learning to the idea that we are all blind learning to see. Like, that's what you're doing in the world by being in the formula. I know that's a lot, and we're going to continue to talk about it. But when that lands and you get it, like truly, the traction and acceleration of having different aspects of your unique identity present. Like, hey, I'm a lawyer. I'm involved in this like unblinded movement, and like the AFB is a part of it, and they're benefiting, and like we're disrupting what blindness means. The listening opens for you in a way it wouldn't otherwise when you're talking about simply being like a marketing consultant, right? You're not getting put in the same bucket. There's disruption. There's interest. There's your initial dynamic with people all people that you are encountering is to demonstrate a disruption to their knowingness that you're just another stranger. Malcolm Gladwell's book, Talking to Strangers, discusses this piece. When you're the other, when you're somebody else, you're just put in a knowingness bucket of otherness. And when you're in the knowingness bucket of otherness, there's a default no to you that people are going to see. So anybody getting these calls like, well, let's just like have a nice morning and be like inspired. We're going to do that at times. And at times we're going to drop in with the amazing science of human influence. And we're in deep right now in a beautiful space. Play with it today. See how many people, like Tiffany was saying to me, she's like, yeah, I felt like people are just like kind of like, you know, some people I was encountering just like ignoring me. And they're like, oh, I think like she's with Sean and part of Unblinded. I'm not sure I want to have that conversation right now. And like, I don't know if that was happening. That might just be a story. But whatever was happening, they were seeing Tiffany as an other when that was happening. And so Tiffany, your challenge and everybody's challenge in the huddle today is to not have anybody today you encounter see you as just a stranger. Like Kirk's not just a strange blind guy, right? And he doesn't show up that way ever. And I'm not showing up that way ever. But lots of us show up that way all the time. And we let people put us into the otherness bucket. And in love, let's play with the skill set. Like I don't let people put me in the otherness bucket ever. And I immediately disrupt patterns of thinking. And it's an incredible skill set I developed that you're here. It's one of 100 skill sets you're here to develop, but it's pivotal and it's present. So say you're going to meet a ton of people. You're going to have people looking past you. You're going to have people looking to meet somebody else, right? See if they can understand and appreciate with your showing up differently and asking a couple of effective questions like, hey, like what's here for you? Why are you here? And you're with certainty disrupting their pattern to like ignore you and make you like some other. See how that shows up for you and work on that skill set and bring back on Monday some of those interesting challenges and access points. Final. We're going to continue with Kirk next week on this. The AFB has raised $100,000. I've done a match for that. And from now through the Christmas and holiday party through the event, an outcome for me is to create like a triple match. So we'll talk more about that. I'm seeding it, you know, like today. And the idea is to continue to raise money, awareness, and energy for the AFB. But very candidly, I believe that the greatest thing I could do for the AFB is beyond any money raising, which I'm certainly going to do money raising. But it's about combining the unblinded movement, our concepts, and redefining awareness about blindness and creating a tribe of blind people. By the way, we're all blind. So creating a tribe that blindness is seen not as a physical limitation, but as a mental and emotional limitation. And if people have a physical blindness problem, they get the support they need. Like that's what's present for me. I didn't say it's present for Kirk and the AFB, but that's something I believe is that here we're going to help people redefine blindness, not just as a physical limitation, but in fact, even as much and more problematic for people and how they believe about themselves, what they believe about the world, how they're showing up. And like, that's what's happening. So Kirk, I am super grateful for you being here this morning. Thank you for your time and energy, sir.
Absolutely. Looking forward to next time and many times thereafter. Looking forward to seeing people in January in Jersey City. I spent yesterday connecting blind people with the Unblinded movement. So I know I'll see lots of other blind folks there. And for those of you who haven't spent time with blind people, come to Jersey City and party. It'll be fun. Blind people are cool.
Yes, because Kirk is super cool and knows how to party and is a brilliant man full of love and amazing depth of leadership. So Kirk, thank you, sir, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely.
Last 2 minutes, last two minutes here. So Fernando, you there?
I am right here, Mr. Callaghan.
Hey, so something interesting happened at Date with Destiny yesterday, and we're going to wrap in 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
What happened?
What I'm feeling, a lot of interesting things, way more than we can cover in 2 minutes. But one of the like more interesting and intriguing is like the acknowledgement and validation of what you're creating, the language you're creating, on how we saw and heard Tony Robbins use like formula and influence and unblinded for the first time ever. Like the number one motivational speaker on the planet, on his number one signature event, Date with Destiny, day one, used the word influence, unblinded, formula. And many people, like not even including us that have gone multiple times, were like, oh my God, this is like totally the unblinded movement. And like energy is there, and people are posting in our Facebook, and people are coming up to us, and we're like, what is going on? This is Tony Robbins. And it's very exciting. And it's kudos to your work, Mr. Callaghy, because this is exactly what you declared you were going to do, is influencers influencing influencers, where 1 + 1 is a trillion relationships, or at least 10. And now like your work is being acknowledged, validated in front of 8,000 people from 68 different countries, from the number one motivational speaker on the planet, Tony Robbins. So that is like what happened.
Yeah, and to drop in specifically, Tony put up a slide that said the 9 elements of influence and was talking about it. And Tony gave me my original Access to Influence training. He's the most, to me, brilliant influencer on the planet, right, who I studied for 22 years. And so, you know, he was talking about it. That had not happened at Date with Destiny last year. It's happening on day one. He was not talking about those things. And then he said, and when you learn the 9 elements of influence, it unblinds you. It unblinds you. I almost fell over when he said it. And it was remarkable. I have certainly never heard him say the word unblinds before. In fact, I've never heard anybody before this movement say unblinds or unblinded. And in fact, when I said we're going to call it unblinded, the people I was working with at the time said unblinded is not even a word, I don't think. It's weird, and nobody's going to know what it means. And now Tony Robbins on day one is talking about the 9 elements of influence, and that learning them unblinds you. That's the impact and the stickiness that we're having. It is remarkable and unbelievable. I know, Jared, you out there, Jared Yellen? Final thoughts or comments?
I am here. So here we are, guys. Momentum is insane. I was talking with Sean last night. I was saying, and I want everybody to like let this land. Every minute right now in this movement is like what like normal people experience like in a year. Like that's how much progress is being made. And I just want to honor every one of you, because you guys show up as extraordinary human beings, driven to make a difference. You're living out the power of one. I mean, this group is expanding because of every single person on the huddle and every single person in the group. We had a record-setting day for people signing up for the immersion yesterday because of people like you guys out there spreading the message, recognizing that this is not Sean's event or Adam's event or Fernando's event or my event or any one person's event. It's your event. Like, what happens when you're able to sit in a room with 2 people or 5 people or 10 people that you consider your ecosystem partners you're going to co-create? And what happens when you're sitting together and eating together and debriefing together and role-playing together and then leaving on Sunday together? Here's what's so cool. When you come to this immersion, it's not like you're going to be sitting in a room and just taking notes because Sean's speaking for like 16 hours a day. Like, Sean's going to speak and you're going to role-play and implement it on the spot with your ecosystem partners, which is why it's so important that you think about who should be present with you, so that when you go back on Sunday night and on Monday, you're not trying to get people caught up with what just happened. They know what just happened because they were there with you. This is your event, people. Think of your 1 person. Think of your 2 people. Think of your 25 people. Think about who must be present at this experience. Get yourself registered, get them registered, and then let's take this movement. Let's make it live and in person, and then just take it to the next level. We have a big challenge next week, so start getting your people signed up now. You will qualify for the challenge. Big prizes are going to be announced next week for our December to Remember challenge. I appreciate you all. Sean, back to you.
Yeah, hey, Adam, one more time, happy birthday, brother. It was Adam's birthday yesterday. We sang, that's a privilege, or staying in the house together to sing happy birthday to Adam. Beautiful day. I just want to acknowledge that one more time. He is such an amazing human being. So grateful for him. And tonight we'll be back in the Unblinded House after Date with Destiny ends. So anyone wants to come back, hang out, talk, debrief, talk about application, implementation of things. That'll be there. The address is in the app. I think it's like 230 Miramar Way in West Palm or Palm Beach. The address will be in the on the Unblinded page. Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Kirk. Let's go out there and disrupt it. The call to action again today for you is let nobody put you in a bucket. Let nobody pass by, and find the right energy of disruption that you become sticky, that people see you as unique and become curious about you. The game for today is that you are unique and people become curious about you. Use the unblinded movement, use the AFB and disrupting blindness. But most importantly, initially ask questions, build rapport about them. And then when there's being ignored, it's like, oh, hey, like I say this, you say, boom. Just that question is so unique. People become curious about you. Have an amazing and blessed day, and let's go get it. You're amazing. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon, and have an amazing weekend. Blessings. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, everyone. It's a
Have a great
privilege.
day.
Thanks,
Thank you, everybody.
Take good
Happy
care.
Friday. Have a nice day.
Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Woo, woo, woo. This is what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
See everybody. Have a great day.
Fun Friday.
don't know what time you want to get up. Yeah. What time? Right now, what?
Bye.